Greetings, everyone. So we are looking at July the 1st, which is Canada Day. So happy Canada Day, everyone. Of course, you can find these out and about, which is a maple leaf. The last couple of videos, I've been drawing like just some nonsense stuff in my sketchbook in regards to Spider-Man, and I talked a little bit about Todd McFarlane, who's also a Canadian. I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a kind of a Wolverine drawing, I guess. I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens with it. Now, Wolverine, of course, has a Canadian origin. I'm going to start off by kind of doing a peanut head. And this could be messy, it could be awesome. I don't really know what's going to happen, but we'll see. I'm going to try to do a doodle of sorts where he's leaping in a way that isn't typical for him to do. But then again, I guess we'll see. Yeah. So I guess he goes by a bunch of different names. I think a lot of people would just kind of refer to him as like Logan or Wolverine or Weapon X or even James Howlett. It kind of goes by all those names. But anyway. Yeah, let's see if we can get this doodle kind of fast, if at all possible, and it'll be kind of messy to start. And because I'm using, fountain pen, I don't expect it to be perfect by any means, and if it ends up being kind of messy, that's all right. Let's see here. Wolverine's always kind of fun to draw, and when you do draw him, you pretty much always have to have the claws out, don't you? Now for fun, this isn't like a typical pose for the Wolverine. Of course, it'd probably be a lot more fun to do this in pencil to start. So let's see. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do kind of like that old school outfit or not, or just have like the super duper jowls. Let's dip the pen here for a moment. I kind of like the old school outfit. It's neat that in the movie with Hugh Jackman, they managed to get that old outfit, which I think is kind of neat. ridiculous. I don't know how much accuracy involved with the creation of Wolverine. You know, as far as how it might look to be similar or not very similar to an actual Wolverine. Like, I don't really understand what's going on here with the serratus anteriors of the creature. But anyway, let's say it splits there. Let's say it splits kind of there. Do we want to have teeth showing? Of course, this is where his eyes are, looking angry. Sure, why not have some of the teeth going? Those are fun to draw. Give him kind of little fangs there too. Just being angry. Guess we could have had his mouth open if we really, really needed it to. I think there was a time that it would have been neat to see different actors playing him. Like, you know, imagine Zac Efron. That'd have been kind of interesting. I'm not sure if Glenn Danzig would have been a great choice or not. At one time, probably, right? He's got to be pretty close to being in his 70s now. But it would have been pretty neat a while ago if he would have got that shot, I guess. Let's kind of fill some of this in just for fun. See what happens. Now, as far as, you know, the Canadian roots of James Howlett or Logan, they do talk about it in the comics, but there's a good chance that he's far older than even the country of Canada. So let's fill this in a little bit more here. I'm sure that if you needed to, you could just Google that yourself. I don't know if I need to zoom in on that. Well, we're going to go into kind of a quick detailing mode now. Actually, let's back it out just a little bit, I think. Maybe to there. See if we can lock that down. Okay, so now we'll see if we can fix my terrible little messes as much as possible. They're kind of the same thing with like Batman and whatnot, because you need the eyes to kind of show up, in the comic book world, they're left kind of blank most of the time. But yeah, I think like Danny DeVito would have been a fun choice, don't you think? Sure, Glenn Danzig would have been awesome too. Mainly just be kind of like, well, for the sake of height. Like Hugh Jackman was awesome, just super tall. I'm going to go with just black and white, so I'm just going to kind of lightly fill in what should be kind of naturally blue. Like that. The boots would be blue as well. Actually, let's go the opposite way. If I want to go back in with, let's say, like the bunny pen, then I can do that. And we're not stuck though, but I'm happy to do things in black and white. It's just kind of my normal way of doing things anyway. Now, shorts would be blue. Belt would be red. Yeah, he's a very strange character to draw, in my opinion. Just for sake of always having to have his claws out. At least that's the way I like to picture him. So we're under 15 minutes so far, and I think we have the main kind of shape of what we want out of this character. His gloves would also be blue in that classic look. It's really weird to kind of freehand draw some of this kind of stuff and then hope that it ends up looking the way you kind of want it to, but I should also admit I'm not nearly as concerned about that for my sketchbook's sake. This is just kind of fun. So if it doesn't look exactly like Wolverine, I think I will be okay. what other sort of things I could add to this. Detail-wise. Some strain in the chest, I suppose. A little bit more sort of scratch and detail stuff. Those quads kind of beefy looking, I guess. I do think that we're kind of done with it. I don't know if there's really a lot more detail that I would want to add to that without having to go to color next. We don't have to write Snick anywhere because, well, chances are he's already had his claws out, but I guess we could if we needed to. Let's tighten up the eyes just a little bit. Maybe we'll squeeze in just a little bit more anger. A little bit more line there. Fix the hands just a little bit. Because that looks like he's jumping in. Wild. Yeah, well, let's go with this. And by the way, I don't really think it's typical what I'm just about to scratch in here. Canadians don't really just walk around saying A all the time. So that's funny. And hey, why not? Because we do have a couple of minutes. So let's draw. You know what? Maybe I'll make a separate quick little video on drawing a maple leaf, and I think that could be kind of fun too. But yeah, no, I think that's probably good for now. Well, folks, there you have it. That would be Wolverine drawn in under 22 minutes. Just jumping, not a big deal. I don't think I need to go any further than that. But and whether or not I make another video for Canada Day, yeah, well, have a happy Canada Day, and hopefully we'll see you at some point in the near future. All right, ciao for now.